Hello. Darling here with you with the Front Row Digital News series in 20 minutes or less. Today we'll be looking at four small business marketing strategies for max growth. Um, just want to point this out. If you're a medium to large size company, these marketing strategies will prove to be effective for you as well. I'm just wanted to put that out there. But with that being said, let's get into it. Now, in 20 minutes or less, like I said, I'll be walking you through four small business marketing strategies for max growth. Here at Front Row, we understand that you don't all have the time in the world to dive as deep into the concepts and insights that would bring about success for your company or business, right? This is why at Front Row, we go through countless blogs, articles, and research papers weekly to bring to you the key insights in today's marketing and branding industry. The goal is so you can get a feel for which strategies catch your eye and then look to implement. And as always, don't try to do everything, just pick one key concept to implement. And definitely feel free to reach out to us if you do decide to implement one of these key concepts, because we'd love to kind of discuss and, to kind of see how each company is going about implementing these concepts, because you can have the general concepts, but I found that, each company and business has their own unique identity and legacy. So the way that they go about implementing these concepts, are very interesting, to say the least. So if you want the full PDF, just send us a message and we'd be happy to send that your way. With that being said, let's get into it. Now, a quick summary. Looking at small business success can prove very challenging, especially as small businesses rebound from the COVID-19 pandemic, right? But gaining steam is made much easier with powerful small business marketing strategies. Making digital marketing more prevalent can net even better results for your company or business. Now, you may be asking, right? What if I'm a local small business or a local small company serving a limited community? Is digital marketing still for me? Well, here's the thing. Digital marketing is still a must do, right? Especially given, everything that's going on. A lot more things are moving to virtual settings or moving online, right? So whether you're a marketer for a large company or a small business, you can employ the following marketing strategies on your own. And with that being said, let us get into it, right? So starting out with the first content piece, starting out with the first marketing strategy for max growth, which is by far, my favorite strategy, is content marketing is priority number one, right? Your content marketing strategy should be a prior to all your other marketing or branding strategies, because it starts out with the content that you're putting out, right? Essentially, content marketing is all about creating and delivering actionable and informative content, right? Do bear in mind that actionable and informative content is highlighted because this is what actually brings about value to your target audience, right? A strong content marketing strategy can help your small business drive more traffic online and in store. Now, do bear in mind that your content should be actionable and informative for it to kind of incite, your user to take a specific action, whether that's engagement, a website visit, or an in-store visit, right? So actionable and informative, those are principles, literally principles that you want to be looking at there for your content curation and your content posting. So the best part about content marketing is that it has long-term results. You're really playing the long-term game here, rather than, something that is quite ephemeral like paid advertising. What you end up seeing is that as you consistently, put out quality and actionable content, what happens is, you might be starting out with, you know, 5 engagements per post starting out and getting to 100 engagements per post within just a few months, right? Which could lead to, on average, way higher conversion rates, right? This allows you to build sustainable small business growth while maximizing your profits. Here are some key elements of content marketing to keep in mind. relevant keywords to your industry and or niche, quality content that is useful to your audience, topics that attract great click-through rates. Now, I will group these three into kind of a similar procedure, you know, which would be market audience research, right? Or market research, audience research, competitor research. You want to do some type of research because you have everything at your disposal right now to get the relevant information that you need. Whether you have enough information from your various data stores, your website, your social media platforms that you can pull out data from, or you can, there are various free tools or paid tools, whichever one you prefer, that you can go on and do audience research, keyword research, competitor research, and you can really find the relevant keywords, quality content, and topics that bring about great click-through rates, right? Now, going on to the fourth and fifth tip, right? You want to have optimized web pages and blogs that rank in Google search. Essentially, what this means is that you're helping yourself help yourself, right? You could be posting great content, but once someone gets to your website or your blog and it's not optimized to have the best user experience, what happens there is you're quickly mitigating your conversion rate, right? Because it's all about the whole appeal. You're not just focusing on making your branding quality, but yet having your website as something that is lackluster, or something that doesn't really follow the funnel that you have in mind. So do keep that in mind. Now, you also want to have consistent content distribution via multiple channels. This is the multi-channel approach. Long gone are the days where you can just stay on one social media channel and say, hey, I've done it. I am on one social media channel and I am going to scale like none other. Maybe this worked 10 years ago, but now it really doesn't, because there's so much information and content that your users are being bombarded daily, that if you're staying in one social media platform, you're pretty much just marginalizing your brand voice, right? No one else is going to advocate for your company or business legacy and identity. You literally need to create a path for your followers, hence your target audience, to kind of take up this gauntlet and follow in your footsteps, right? And so you're helping yourself help yourself with a content marketing strategy. You're playing the long game here. Now, content marketing encompasses a number of online channels. Create and post your content on your website's blog or your general website, in YouTube videos, social media, and more channels and avenues if you have. Now, in a way, content marketing is at the core of your overall marketing mix-up. Like I said, this should be a prior to all your marketing and branding strategies. You want to start with this first if you start with anything. Going on to the second strategy for max growth, which would be social media marketing is critical to small business growth, right? Many consumers turn to their favorite social media channels for product recommendations, news, and business updates. Ask yourself, when was the last time you went and bought a newspaper, or you picked up a newspaper to catch up on the news and to stay updated on the news? Not very likely, right? Also ask yourself, when was the last time that you turned on the radio just so you could get business updates? Not very likely. Now, especially with the trajectory of the way kind of society is moving, given our times, is that a lot of things are moving to the virtual and online setting. So, having a social media marketing plan is, doing yourself a service. You're only setting yourself up for growth and success there. So while SEO is important, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Even if the vast majority of your customers come from Google, they might check out your Facebook or Yelp before making a buying decision. So do keep that into account. You have, if let's say you're getting most of your visitors from Google, of course, do realize that you also have multiple touch points, because rarely will you just have a website without a Facebook page, or without some type of Google listing, or without a Instagram or social media platform, right? You want to look at all the touch points that your users or your audience might be interacting with regarding your business or your company, right? So do take that into account and make sure that you're keeping your branding or whatever marketing strategy you decide to implement or branding strategy. Do make sure that you're looking at your various company touch points and business touch points, such as your website, your social media platforms, maybe review sites, your listings, your Google listings platform, and all that sorts, right? Because if you think that, all your customers are just going to come from one source, then you are poorly mistaken, right? You're pretty much just mitigating the amount of leads, clients, product sales that you could be getting, right? In fact, it's not that surprising, but some small businesses don't even have websites today, right? They operate solely on networks like Facebook or LinkedIn. Now, if you're B2B, solely using LinkedIn, that's okay, right? LinkedIn, it's a great social media platform to master if you are B2B. I would also advise that, do branch out into Facebook, or into the other social media channels that would be a viable option for your industry, your niche, your legacy, and your unique identity, right? Now, if you are not B2B, you're looking at, pretty much having 2 to 3 social media platforms, right? Which is recommended. One is too little. Two, okay, you might just be doing enough. Three, all right, now you can have a consistent brand appeal across multiple channels, right? Now, post content within your content marketing strategy, as we discussed in the first strategy tip. The social media posts, oh, do take into account, I do want to point this out, consistently, right? You want to post within, your marketing, your content marketing strategy, or your various channels. You want to post consistently, right? This is how you're going to be able to get that data that is so much needed to make optimizations and iterations on your content, your strategy, your systems and operations, right? So the social media post should be enticing and serve up value for your audience. If not, you will lack engagement, likes, shares, comments, and whatever metric that you're really looking to track there. Going on to the third strategy for max growth, influencer marketing can jumpstart growth. I'll add on to say micro influencer marketing can jumpstart growth, right? And this is, we're working with a similar concept here, which is kind of new, regarding the marketing, regarding the whole marketing trajectory. What you're looking at here is a very interesting, and a very effective way of selling to it's a pretty much a very effective way of selling by not selling, right? No one wants to buy something from a marketer, but everyone would buy something from a friend, right? Everyone would buy something based on the recommendation of a close friend or a good friend. And what you're looking at here is kind of an interesting psychological phenomenon that is happening, that really hasn't been utilized, and really hasn't reached its potential up until recently. Looking at influencer marketing, what you realize is that, going back to this, many consumers turn to their favorite influencers or micro influencers for product recommendations, news, and business updates, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's something that, if this is, something that your company or your business is, thought about, but do take into account the massive leverage that can be had, or could be attained from micro influencer marketing. Now, the reason why I say micro influencer marketing is because it's going to help you accurately track the metrics that you're looking for given your goals, right? Now, influencer marketing, that's there's there's quite a bit of more useless data that you need to worry about. It doesn't affect the impact of your campaign, whether you're using a huge influencer or you're using a micro influencer. I would go more on to say that using a micro influencer will be more effective, just due to the fact that you're working with closer communities, you're working with a closer target audience, you're working with metrics that can be more easily tracked than, let's say, a page with an account with a million plus um, subscribers or followers, right? So here are some common good practices for finding, your influencer marketer or your influencer marketing strategy, making that more powerful. What you want to do is you want to find social media influencers that are in your industry, right? More likely than not, their beliefs, their alignments, their perspectives will be shared with your company legacy and your company identity. Um, and you're also just making sure that the micro influencers in your niche or in your industry, that's the least you could do. You don't want to spend quite a bit being software company and using a micro influencer that targets the cosmetic niche, right? So make sure that the influencer that you do choose, is within your industry. Ensure that influencers you're considering have a good engagement rate, views, comments, shares, etc. Now, you want to make sure that you track these metrics before getting into any partnership, because at that point, if you get into it without really checking these metrics, you don't really know what to expect. And why would you go into any paid partnership without, having some data to go off from and having some expectations? And so, what then this is you need to do the due diligence to make sure that you are spending your money wisely, right? Your marketing dollars, for some business owners are, should be very tight. I would even go to say for all companies and all businesses, you don't just want to spend frivolously, especially given your marketing budget, right? Because once it's gone, right? Now, you want to connect with the influencers for paid promotions on their social media channels or the preferred channels. Right? You want to collaborate with the influencers. Now, you do not want to dictate, right? You want to let them, as much as you can, have, creative rights, because this is where some of the most authentic, engaging content comes out from, right? This is where some of the best content that will actually bring about the goals, the engagements that you're looking for, the conversions that you're looking for. It's the mix of the company identity, the business legacy, and also the collaborative effort of whatever micro influencer you're working with, their unique perspective, their unique systems and operations. And so those two combinations brings about something very enticing to your audience, right? Now you want to measure your results of influencer marketing campaigns. Um, you want to track your metrics, right? And this is going to be determined by your goals. Let's say you just want traffic to your website, right? You're going to be looking at link clicks. You might be looking at engagement. But let's also say that you want to track conversions based on your micro influencer campaign. Now you're looking at more more of an in-depth analysis, and you're going further to say, okay, there's the link clicks. Well, how many people actually converted? All right, how are we going to track that? So do take into account that the metrics you're tracking are partly determined by your goals. And finally, you want to rinse and repeat. Now, what this means is you want to do iterations. You want to optimize it, but that's only based off the data you're getting. That's why you track your metrics in the first place. Now, going on to the fourth tip, get all you can from email marketing, right? This is to say that email marketing is not dead. It still remains a viable marketing strategy for max growth, right? According to a study, research done by Orbello, they found that email marketing has an ROI of $42 for every dollar spent, which is insane given the potential for small businesses or companies alike, right? However, You want your email campaigns to be effective. And here's just some common practices, some good common practices, some rule of thumbs. But I would say that you definitely want to dive in, with systems and procedures in place, and figure out, what works best for you through trial and error, because you'll realize that, certain phrasations and certain syntax, might speak more to your audience than it would to others. And so, giving you a complete system of email marketing, wouldn't be as effective because it wouldn't apply to maybe your specific industry and whatever company ideals you have, right? So you want to have an easy opt-in lead capture in a few places on your small business website, or just on your website in general. I mean, this is just making sure that you're not missing out on getting any leads. So you're making sure that you have multiple sources that could acquire those leads, not just through your email campaigns. Do not sell to your email subscribers. The goal here is building a following base, building passionate, loyal advocates, right? Before you plan on selling, you always want to give first. It rarely happens where, you can just blast out email campaigns and sell something right off the bat. Now, you'd have to be working with very large numbers, to actually get some sales out of that. Now, you want to give subscribers actionable, informative content they will find valuable. Okay, well, actionable, informative content is kind of a theme here, right? What you realize is that, it's not just about posting content or posting it consistently. What you realize is that the information that is actually being put out currently, there's so much information that your target audience is being bombarded by that they simply don't have the time. But here's the thing is that each company and each business has a unique legacy and identity that will speak to their target audience and will be in alignment with, a large group of individuals within that segment group, right? So you want to also have a subtle call to action that adds benefit for subscribers to click through. You want to make sure that it's a transactional interaction. You're not just, exploiting. You're not just taking information. You're also giving something valuable. Whether you're offering a promo, whether you're offering, an exclusive look into a community or join into a community, an exclusive case study or something like that, right? You always want to offer something as far as your call to actions. Now, you want to email consistently, but do not overdo it. I'll also add on to say that you want to make sure, with systems and procedures in mind, this is really going to help you make sure that you're emailing consistently, because you'll be able to track who you've already interacted with, right? You'll be able to set them on whatever path they are on, whether you're just contacting them or whether this is the third follow-up message. So do take that into account. And now, starting from the top down, starting out with the first strategy for max growth, content marketing is a prior to every single strategy you have for growth and success, right? It should be your number one. It's about the information that you put out there. Actionable, informative, bingo, you got it. Second, social media marketing is critical to small business growth. That's pretty self-explanatory there. Most consumers don't really turn to newspapers or radios or billboards anymore for their news, business updates and recommendations. I'll even add on to say that influencer marketing can jumpstart your growth, because many consumers don't turn to newspapers or radios anymore for their product recommendations, news, and business. They're looking at influencers. You're looking at the individuals they look up to, right? These are the individuals that are building and shaping mass thought and mass perceptions and behaviors within society. So these are the people you want to work with, right? Micro influencers. This will save you quite a bit of marketing dollars and frustration. Okay, then fourth, you want to get all you can from email marketing. Email marketing is not dead. Just make sure you have systems and procedures in place there, right? This is the Front Row Digital News Series in 20 minutes or less. Now, we did go slightly over, about 4 minutes over. Nevertheless, as always, a range of new considerations and tools, some of which will have significant impacts for your business. It's worth keeping up with the latest business marketing trends. Hopefully, this will serve as a reminder or prompt to get you thinking on how you can use these new features and functions, right? So, thank you for your time. Be sure to subscribe to our Front Row Digital News series on YouTube, weekly digital marketing trends and social media news to keep you up to date and ahead of your competitors. And I hope you all have a great day. And like I said, there's quite a bit of information shared here. Just pick one, literally, just pick one, right? Don't get caught up in paralysis analysis. You have the you have the resources at your disposal to act now. To bring about growth and success, and to scale your business and company. So definitely, I look forward to getting in touch with some of you, and I hope you have a great one. Bye bye.